to another episode of the Polygon Pilgrimage, and today I want to show you something very exciting, how to do super easy bakes. And we're going to do this in Substance Painter 2, and I'm here of course using 3ds Max, and we're going to set it up here. So as we all know, when you have an object like this, this is a piece of a personal project I'm working on. I just stopped in mid-sentence and kind of made this available for us to use today for our example. So anyway, if I take a quick render here, you'll see I have low poly on the left and high poly on the right. And what we need to do is we need to bake this object. However, we have a lot of overlapping objects and we're going to need to explode the bake and do all those complicated things, right? Wrong. We're no longer going to be exploding bakes because Substance Painter 2 is awesome. So here's how it works. I've created this object, and right now you can see it's one whole object because it's part of a group. So if I ungroup it here, you'll see I can select each individual object, and in the upper right here you'll see the name always ends in an underscore LP. Then over here everything is an underscore HP for the high poly equivalent of that object. Now those of us who are long-time modelers, this is no big news. However, what I've done here is all of these objects over here are unwrapped together, and we're going to be putting these two objects directly over top of each other and exporting both sets as one group. And then we just throw them both in there. We don't have to move anything around, which is fantastic. Usually, in order to avoid some overshadowing and other issues, we'd have to move these objects off. So I'd have to find a position in space, move this to it, and move this object to the same position. And you know, they have to line up perfectly and all that jazz. Well, we're not going to worry about that anymore. So I have all of my low poly objects, and I've gone ahead already and I've exported this as underscore LP. You notice here in my outliner, everything that I've selected here is in the LP group. And I can select everything over here in the HP group. And I made sure that these line up perfectly because they were modeled, you know, right on top of one another. So they line up perfectly, and we've exported a LP and an HP version of each. So now we're going to go ahead and jump over to Substance Painter and take a look at how we do things there. So here we are in Substance Painter, and I've imported the model here, and all I have to do is click Bake Textures, and we're going to set things up. Now my typical settings here are set my size. For this instance I'm going to do 2048. I just want a high quality here so we can see some of the fine edges. We'll lower it later. And I've unchecked ID and thickness. I don't need those for this instance. And then you click this button here for your high poly maps. It shows my high poly. There it is. You can see I've already done this once, so that's why it's already there. And here's the magic part, is under match, I'm going to say by mesh name, and down here I'm going to set my suffixes so that I have high poly is set to HP and low poly is set to LP. And I'm just going to hit bake, and I've already baked it, as you can see the results there, but I'll just show you how long this takes, which is not long at all, which is part of the magic to this. And we'll let it go for a second here. Let it finish up. The AO always seems to kind of hang because that's got to be one of the most complex operations. No worries there. Curvature is very quick, and we're all done. And as you can see here, the result hasn't changed, but really nice clean bake. I didn't have to move anything. It still does show up here as being a little bit of an overshadowing, but that's for, it's measured that it's completely static, so that's fine. And the whole mesh is completely static, nothing's going to be animated, so we don't really worry about that for this instance. I will be checking this in the new version that is downloading now on my other screen, so we'll see if that still persists. But for now, super easy bake. We didn't have to do anything to it, and I've just been throwing some materials on here. Long-time movie and video game fans might start to recognize this object, but just throwing some materials on there. Really not a whole lot of work to this texture yet, and it's already coming out pretty nice, and I didn't have to spend a lot of time worrying about the bake. This project I'm working on is quite huge, so having the ability to have really quick bakes of this high quality, and get in here close, you can see it's really nice. It's a really good time saver since I have a lot to do. So, alright, I appreciate you guys taking a look today, and I wanted to give a shout out to Dylon Mellott. Pardon me if I don't pronounce it correctly. He is the one who I found this trick from online, and I will be linking his video in the description. Guys, check it out, subscribe to him. He's a smart guy, and he showed me this trick, and so, you know, I teach you guys things, but I am the perpetual student as well, so let's all learn together. So as always guys, keep practicing, get better, and I'll see you next time as the pilgrimage continues.